And we are live.
We certainly are live. I just got the notifications. Welcome, everybody. Whoa. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the world's most popular live stream, Live at the Hive, Digital Marketing from the Trenches. I'm Dan Delco.
Matt Stefanich.
I'm DJ Stacy D. No, Stacy DeSantis, Content Marketing Manager.
Nice. Little, did our conversation about Jake Paul and Logan Paul just inspire you to...
No, we had a meeting earlier, and you said I looked like a DJ. So
you did. You were looking to the side. You had your headphones on, and you were looking down.
Like this.
You looked like one of those TikTok DJs that goes live. All right. So, welcome to Live at the Hive, episode 178, Digital Marketing from the Trenches. Today, we are talking about. This is very meta.
Yeah, I guess it is, eh?
It is super meta.
Talking about
how to create live video content on a live video stream.
Oh,
that's like live at the Hive Inception right now.
That's it. That's right. It's totally Inception.
Yeah.
So we are going to be talking today about not only the why of live streaming and why it's so effective, and why, regardless of the size of your audience, you will see great benefits from using live streaming and live streaming technologies. But live streaming, where you can do it, what platforms you can use, some of the tools you can use, and then some of the tips to create tons and tons and tons of really great content that lives in a content library that is accessible at all times. I think our lives total now have about 120,000 views total.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're certainly in a niche, but that's okay. We are not trying to be Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Who else?
Or Joe Rogan or Rojogan, whatever you say.
Yes, we were just talking before about how masterfully people are being trolled these days, and what it's. Anyways, we'll touch on that. I think we have a little bit on what's
a bit of marketing drama near the end. We have a little bit of marketing drama, not too much, but
we could touch on what Logan Paul did with Jake Paul did with Floyd Mayweather the other day, but fundamentally it's genius marketing. He got so much press, he got so much attention all over social. And it cost him literally, he got punched in the face.
Maybe a punch in the face by Floyd Mayweather.
But it's my feeling from a marketing perspective that these, he loves it. He loves it. He loves being the heel. He loves being the bad guy. Yeah. He doesn't this is not a problem for him. And if you watch ever his brother's podcast, he actually said it in the last one where he's like, the kid just the worse he's received, the happier he is.
Oh, I'm sure. Yep. I'm sure.
So anyhow, we will do that. So, but before we dive into that, let's talk a little bit about what's new. I know Matt got some stuff.
Yeah, we have the Bee's got some really good articles for us this week to go over for some digital marketing news. We're going to be starting off with Instagram. So Instagram is really starting to kind of double down between TikTok, and one of the ways that they're trying to kind of come on top or get above TikTok, I guess you could say, would be creators making money on their platform. So, creating new monetization features. And they're not just introducing one, they're actually introducing three. So the three are going to be a creator shop, an affiliate commerce, and then branded content marketplace. There's not too much to go off right now. It's still in the real earliest stages. On April 27th, Instagram did a live to talk about these creator monetization and features that are coming in the future. But yeah, I think that this is definitely going towards a direction of directly competing against TikTok. I know TikTok has the content creator of fund or something like that creators can sign up for. But yeah, just some really interesting stuff from Instagram coming along. I know a lot of influencers will probably be very happy about this.
Well, yeah, and I think I think with these platforms, I mean, Stacey, you're a big Instagram user, aren't you? I see you go on walks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised that they aren't barking right now, actually. Yeah, it's always fun to have meetings. What I was going to say, though, I remember talking about this with you guys a year ago, and I think just with COVID and everyone, being in lockdown, this has just really ramped this up. This whole idea of monetization with influencers, we've kind of seen it coming down the pipe for a while, and I definitely think TikTok had a part to play with it. But it'll be interesting to see how much people they'll definitely get used, but I feel like more people are moving towards TikTok.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's debatable to say because you don't really get the numbers, but it is good to see that these mega corporations are looking to share monetization options. Actually, there was another article, I think it was last week, though, is that YouTube actually set a record in revenue growth for their systems, and in part, one of the big reasons why is that they increased the number of monetization options beyond just the AdSense and advertising. They also introduced a ton of other revenue options, but it is good to see that these big platforms that are making billions of dollars off of literally your creations, right, are looking to do revenue share programs for full-time creators to fund that type of growth because it's very legitimate.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we can see these companies going head to head against each other. And it's no surprise that it's TikTok and Instagram pretty much kind of fueling the fire. But the other article that we have here, and it directly relates to that, is kind of TikTok is trying to branch out past its kind of like Gen Z exclusivity image, right? Not just Gen Zers are on TikTok anymore. And this article goes into depth talking about how, products like American Eagle, Ocean Spray, and even feta cheese are starting to go viral on the platform. And it just proves that, there's something I think right now on TikTok for everyone. I think a couple months ago, I was on live at the Hive talking about how I'm not on TikTok and I don't see myself being on TikTok ever.
You got sucked in, didn't you? Did you get sucked in?
Now I'm sucked in. Yeah, I'm sucked in. I have to have one of those timers on my phone where it's like 45 minutes that I'm on it, and then it locks me out.
I get sucked into the TikTok vortex often.
Yep.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, it's
it's really challenging for brands to actually enter into TikTok. They want to branch out from Gen Z, but I've seen a lot of brands actually try to create the same kind of account they would have had on Instagram. And they run into a lot of headwinds because it is a different ball game. You have to be very authentic. People don't really want the overly produced content on TikTok. It's kind of becoming like the new TV where a lot of people are going there to just get lost. Like what we're talking about, getting sucked into it. But I've seen some brands try to come on there, and all through their comments will be people like, "You picked the wrong platform, bud," And so they have to really watch how they make that content. And live streaming is one way they could do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, TikTok is interesting because they've taken the ultra short, right? I mean, you went from a Vine to a TikTok, so up to 60 seconds, but now they've introduced the 3-minute format, the longer format, and their live streaming is fully integrated. They've done a lot of things in terms of really understanding customer and user experience, manipulating an algorithm to manipulate your actions on that platform. And because of that, I think I agree, it's a hugely valid platform. I know that it depends on the philosophy of the business we're talking to. Some are super into it, very interested and fascinated, have no clue how to go about it. And some people are resisting it, saying it's for kids, which is absolutely ridiculous because it is such a massive platform and the growth rates are absolutely astonishing.
Yep.
And I think just from a industry standpoint, it's good because it's diversity, and regardless of where that company is headquartered, I mean, Facebook is no better than ByteDance and Tencent. I mean, give me a break, right? And Google, like they're data sucking machines, right?
Yeah.
But one of the important things is that diversity in the technology marketplace is good because it forces Instagram to adapt and YouTube to adapt, and that's competition. And, for a long time, the competition's not been that strong. And now TikTok has come out as a pretty formidable competitor with very deep pockets and the desire to really compete head to head. And they're not afraid of Facebook and Instagram. Instagram's done more pivoting around what the heck are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
It's
pretty
definitely
much.
not Charlie D'Amelio dancing anymore on there.
No, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow a bunch of the one lady's a PhD. She wrote most of the patents on the algorithms and wrote the algorithms that Facebook and Instagram are currently using. There's math talk, there's all sorts of different TikToks with lots of information. I think Pippa just mentioned here as well. So yeah, everything from dog videos to cleaning hacks. And I mean, those little tips and hacks are super handy, right?
Yep.
Beyond all the other stuff that you see on there. So anyhow, we will be talking about TikTok live. Let's see here. Do we have any more?
Yeah, I have two more that I kind of want to cover about. Yep. So just an update on the iPhone iOS 14.5 business that's been going on. It's come out that 96% of iPhone users have opted out of the app tracking. And, Facebook.
Not a shocker.
If you've seen this image on your Facebook when you're logging in, this is basically Facebook kind of fighting back against the iOS 14.5 here. They kind of give you a few reasons why to do it. But, I think a lot of people, they're interested in it. They want to kind of protect their privacy after the amount of privacy concerns that they've been hearing from Facebook, right? So I'm not surprised.
I'm smirking on purpose.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is
you're going to pay for Facebook soon.
People are going to say no, they don't want it, and then they're going to be like complaining and reporting ads because these ads are irrelevant to me. So it is what it is. There's Google's solution to this issue is basically the same thing, just done in a different way. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen, but I certainly don't think that if you're prompted as a user to say, hey, can we track your app activity? Very few people are going to say, yeah, sure, I want you to track my activity. I think there might be a messaging issue on that. Like, please go ahead, track all my stuff. The instant psychological answer to that would be absolutely not, and that's what we're seeing in the that article for sure. Yeah. So anyhow, it's coming. If you are running Facebook ads, you need to verify your domain by adding a DNS record. If that's beyond your technical know-how, contact your technical person. And you've got a bunch of other verification things to do for Facebook advertising, so you're not caught flat-footed in June when this is all happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
The other one little bit of rumor that was happening on marketing Twitter, #marketing Twitter, is the rumor that, this one's a good one.
Oh, this one's different, but yeah, we can talk about the rumor.
Yeah, the rumor is Apple launching their own search engine. Fascinating, interesting.
Huge.
Google would think about that.
I have to read that first sentence. It kills me. Now, what do we have here?
Okay, sorry. Let's move along. There's no article to go along with that one, but this was a little Twitter pic that I saw that came across my Twitter feed. And this falls into the department of pretty awesome trolls. So this comes from wayfair.ca. And you can see this guy's, it's actually, whoever did it is fairly well a genius, I think, in terms of being able to use social and memes to gain attention. The highlighted line, it had marketing Twitter all up in arms, the writers. But well played, whoever did it. You can pair this fab chair with the rest of the Bowen collection and leave your guests shook at the sight of your sickening new kitchen and dining room look. What was the other one? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of overly obnoxious, but at the same time cleverly put where it kind of stands out. Yeah, I think it's definitely someone was having fun with this. It was maybe a one-off to see what it was like, but I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It adds a little bit more personality than half the other items that you're looking on Wayfair. You know what I mean? It's a stool. Come on. Like, how excited are you going to get about it?
From a marketing perspective, well done. That is the power of the meme, the power of trolling. Like, this is very light troll, but it's a good. To
answer your question, how excited? You're going to get shook.
Yeah. Sickening shook.
Sickening shook.
My guy.
Yeah.
So that's my attempt at some Fortnite lingo there.
Oh.
All righty. So why don't we dive in, since we are going to be pressed for time on this bad boy. So I will share my screen, and here we go. Let's talk about which screen is that? That's the one. There we go. I should have prepped for that before.
All good. Here we are.
So for obvious reasons, we're going to advocate for live streaming. I mean, I think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We started this live stream 2 years ago. 2 years ago? Geez,
3 years ago.
3.5 years
Might have
ago.
been 3 years ago, yeah, because
178, 52 weeks in a year minus actually 4.
Yeah, I think you guys had done it a year before I started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is
big.
Cruel.
I know.
What is happening?
Like stand through the hourgoglass. These are
like
the days of our lives.
Jeez, here we go. Now I'm staring into the I'm staring into the existential void of time. Great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Courtney's saying 4 years
4
ago.
years ago. Holy.
Thanks, Court.
Yeah, listen, thanks. Oof. Yeesh. So what did no, just no sickening negative adverb, sicky was common vernacular for us, and I'm shook. You just got triggered.
Bam.
Courtney got triggered. Mission accomplished.
Yep.
All right. So yes, we started this, I guess, just over 4 years ago, and with the intention that we know that we aren't going to get massive numbers of live viewers every single week, and we have a core group. The people that come in and out. The real reality is what it allows us to do is create long form content very efficiently. While we have introduced the format of the presentation, which takes a little bit of a time investment from the team. It's also great for training. It's great for communicating across the team, right?
Yeah.
Put this together. But we do not script this. This is done on the fly.
Yeah.
Live every Friday at the end of the week. So I think it's good for building muscle memory in terms of marketing, being comfortable talking about these topics. And the video library, we have had substantial numbers of clients actually say that they've engaged with us because of those videos, that they would consume them. They went and found what they wanted to see. And it helped build a really good rapport. So mission accomplished. And those are just a few of the things that live streaming can do for you. I don't want to overtalk anybody, but does anyone else have anything they want to add on this one?
I would further what you're saying in terms of it starts our conversation with our audience by having an authentic conversation with everyone. Like you said, this isn't scripted.
Yeah,
I
and it's
know
important.
I was going to quote Days of Our Lives. You know what I mean? Like it's about like
what's with the soap opera references
I don't
today?
know. It's like 4:30. Young and the Restless is on. I don't know. Anyway, but
is that still even a thing? I didn't even know that this.
Oh yeah, it's still going strong.
General Hospital and all that. Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think you hit all the right points there. I think it's important that you create live video content regardless of like how long. It could be short, just a quick Q&A, but as you'll see throughout this presentation, I mean, we just underline why it's so important and how you can reutilize this content.
And look, we can show several instances easily of people that have built enormously successful small businesses from nothing using things like live streaming as the launching point for everything else that they're doing. So I think one of the keys here that we want to get across is that, number one, you've got the technological capacity to create live streams. Like right now, what we're doing is we are just using StreamYard.com, but we also do use Restream.io. We'll talk a little bit about those platforms in a little bit. Yep. But one of the things is this stuff is technologically more accessible than it's ever been. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from your PC, your laptop, right? And nice light. You've got good cameras, right?
Yep.
One other thing that's a point in here is it doesn't necessarily skip the algorithm. It has its own unique algorithm inside of a larger, more complex one. But when, say, Facebook introduces Facebook Live, they want to promote that. When Instagram has Instagram Live, they want to promote that. When TikTok has TikTok going live, they want you to use those features. So it gives you preferential treatment, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so we already talked a bunch about this. The real-time engagement is really cool. Like I said, we have some regular viewers of this live stream that pop in, pop out. The team is obviously on here. But it's a great way to gain that engagement, develop relationships. And we actually had a client call this morning with a new client. And I think that this is a really important point, especially with, service-based businesses, is that you're really dealing in a relationship-driven arrangement, right? So the more that people see of you, know of you, feel like they're connected to you, feel like they can talk to you beyond a sales process, I think that's a really powerful way to develop those relationships.
Yeah, for sure. And, last benefit I would say is, depending on the platform, you can get engagement that you wouldn't necessarily be able to get anywhere else. And engagement types are very exclusive to some platforms, right? So it just allows you to interact with your audience in different ways.
Yeah. And just as an example, I actually had a fellow reach out to me via Skype that found our videos, wanted to talk about how to promote his stuff. But then he was kind of commenting that, you're not getting a huge amount of engagement on YouTube. And I said, yeah. That is a work in progress. However, we are getting quality interactions from those videos, right? So we're not trying to get 1 million views. I mean, that would be nice, obviously, right?
Sure.
But we are getting quality interactions. We're using it in ways that are benefiting our business. And you can see from some of our past live videos in our library that are here, we got to update those thumbnails, guys, to do on Facebook.
Yeah.
Our most popular videos, I think our most popular one has 12,500 or 13,000 views. And they range, right? They range whether we boost them. They range whether
it's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic, and things come and go, right? But yeah, it gives you that real-time engagement. You're able to then, that the library is the most valuable thing. And if our team ever talks about not having content for the content schedule, I mean, here you go, right?
You have 3 years. 3 years of content to go through.
178 hours effectively of content.
You don't have to worry about that. We got more content than we know what to do with. But another great part about this is different ways that you can repurpose this content. And I know we'll get into that later on in the presentation, but while this is a live video, we do repurpose this as a podcast. So that's just one of many ways that you can actually leverage this kind of content development.
Yep. Sure. And then the next step is the transcription. You get your audio transcribed, put it onto your blog post, which is attached to your podcast, which is then syndicated to everything else. And boom, you are a media company. And one of the key points, I think this comes up often, is that 10 years ago, this was not that easy.
Live streaming was a pain 10 years ago.
It was very expensive, and now it's so incredibly accessible. And that's why, like I say, you see small businesses using this very effectively. And that's the power of what small business has over big business, is the agility to say, hey, you know what? Grabbing my phone, going live. Hi, everybody. I'm live. Right?
Yeah. And there are so many different types of live video. There's what we're doing right now, which is like a question answer. Let's talk about a certain topic. But you could have a live video opportunity where maybe you're a gamer and people are just watching you play, or you are at a trade show and you take someone for a booth tour, just using your phone and talking them through the products. It's so versatile, and it really helps you kind of cut through the noise where you're just not posting photos or feed videos. You're actually starting that two-way conversation. Like we always say, like, this isn't TV. This is like a radio, more like, because we're actually talking back and forth versus
sticking in a script or something.
And people are naturally voyeurs. They want to see behind the scenes. They want that sneak peek. They want to understand what's the brand really about, and who are those people behind the brand. Well, and everything being so clean and polished all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, for example, let's say any type of service business, there's a relationship there. So there's a certain trust level. The more that you understand, people like to buy people from people they like, right? Pretty basic, right? You know, another interesting thing, and we're going to talk a little bit about some tools that you can use to make life a lot easier. We've gone through every level of production over the last number of years.
Yeah, we've used quite a bit, eh?
We've used it all.
Yeah,
I've tried I've spent more hours in my life setting up live stream setups than I would care to admit.
I remember once, a little sidebar story. The three of us, we were actually doing the show, and the camera ran out of battery, and so we had to quickly switch out the battery, and it kind of turned into a mini podcast for a minute. But then we came back.
Oh, we've had all
part of the charm, right? Like,
we've had
it comes with the software, Stace.
Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of every year, I'm not sure if we did it this year, but we take some of the outtakes. But some of the early days, one of the ones when I wasn't around, and it was the ladies did one, had an inappropriate camera zoom for a little while.
Yeah.
At the beginning, when we were testing out our lighting setup, it was perfect in August and September. Come October, November, the sun would start going down and you would slowly see the light dimming. But you know what? This is a key point about live streams is don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. Don't like FUBARs and snafus they're fine. They happen. And in a sense, you know, I mean, you don't want to do it for, you know, your corporate webinar, something like that. I mean, but the live stream side of it has a place in a content marketing strategy in a digital world, right? And, you know, one of my favorite examples is Gary Vee, because as much as he blusters and does a lot of stuff, you know, the reality is he just started doing TikTok live himself. His first stream, guess how many people he had on his first live stream? And he was live for like an hour.
Oh, he probably had a good like 10, 15 maybe?
Two.
Really?
Wow.
He's got, he had two. He actually did a bunch of TikToks about it. That his very first one, he went live. He got nobody came on. So, but he's willing to start anywhere, right? Like that's the important part of it, is not to be hung up on the fact that you don't have 1,000 live stream viewers, but you're creating that content. It takes that consistency. And then if you do have a technical snafu, don't worry about it. Just keep going and just don't stop doing it is kind of the rule there.
And you know what's going to drive that change is curiosity. So get curious about live video. Get curious about testing these out, because you will see, you know, great results from it.
Yeah, and one of the things, and Courtney, I'm not going to.
Reminder of all the bloopers.
We don't need to remind anybody of that blooper, but it was probably one of the best.
Yeah.
So in terms of tools and what you can use, so the obvious tool that's the easiest is your mobile device. Your mobile device is a power-packed computer that has incredibly high resolutions. Even slightly older phones have really great resolutions. Natural lighting setup. There's flexible stands.
With
I've got one right over here with a mini ring light. That's about this big, that plugs into the USB, and you can have a mini ring light there, boom, and go live and just tell your story, be authentic. Now, if you're getting into some more complicated setups, you've got a couple of really good options. OBS is kind of the old standard online broadcaster studio, free. It's used a lot in video game streaming, but it's also used across the board. It takes a little bit more technical know-how, buyer beware. You may
has a lot of bugs.
I mean, you have to know what you're doing. Right. And there can be some fairly esoteric parts about OBS Studio, but the caveat for that is your mileage may vary. There is a technical side of OBS Studio. There's also Streamlabs, what they call Slobs, Streamlabs OBS, which is a much friendlier version, but there's a price tag associated with it. You've got, if you want to just focus on one, then you're good to go native, right? Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. You just go live right from the app. Your other alternative, two really great alternatives, actually that we really jumped on when the lockdown happened. So we have an ATEM switcher in the studio office. We've got all
Blackmagic, like hookups.
We got all that stuff. But for these purposes, we're using StreamYard, which is a fantastic web-based solution. It's really easy to use. It's easy to also to get your guests come on. Takes a lot of the hassle out of it. And you can multi-stream, right? You can stream to multiple platforms at once. For a lot of smaller creators, multi-streaming makes a lot of sense, right? To get yourself out to multiple platforms.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the most important aspects is determining what you really need from your stream. How, do you want it to just kind of be bare bones in the very beginning? That's okay. But, if you want a little bit more customization, a little bit more maybe flashy transitions and stuff, there's platforms out there for you. But again, you got to think about, are you having guests on? How text heavy are your guests? Do you want to have no issues when you're sending an invite link? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff to think about, but the important part is, just trying out like the bare bones, go native for a bit, kind of expand from there. And then if you want to kind of get a little bit further on, maybe venture out to Restream or OBS or something.
Yeah, I would suggest for those that may have technical limitations, i.e. you are not a professional that understands audio codecs and formats. Restream.io and StreamYard are both extremely capable tools. They're very, very similar. Restream's probably got a little bit more on the technical side, and StreamYard's a little bit friendlier for they both have live web-based studios, basically what it comes down to. So pretty easy to use. All right. So so you've got a bunch of options there, ranging from free tools with some technical know-how. Modest. I think StreamYard's $49 a month, which I think is a steal. It's a very reasonable price to be paying, especially if you're going to do it consistently. It's going to help you out a lot.
For sure. For sure.
Okay. So our platforms, the only one I have a severe disappointment with is LinkedIn Live. They're just not very responsive in terms of rolling it out.
Yeah.
You have to, it's by invite only, and you have to apply.
Well, we've been trying for a while. We've had an application in there forever.
Yeah. Right? And it doesn't really make sense to me why LinkedIn would be gating this unless it's a capacity issue on their side. But
I don't think it is.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But LinkedIn, LinkedIn, if anybody's listening, which you're probably not, but if you do happen to run across this, open up your live streaming services to everybody.
Yes.
Like if you want
2021,
you want adoption onto your platform.
I was just going to say that, like, if
as
you
a
want
business,
yeah,
it would make the most sense of all of these. Like, the fact that you have businesses going to TikTok to do live streaming. I mean, LinkedIn is leaving so much on the table there. But you have Facebook Live, you've got YouTube Live, you've got Periscope, you've got Twitch, Instagram Live, TikTok, LinkedIn Live, kind of, sort of, but not really. They fell asleep at the table. But you also have a couple of other options as well. If you're concerned necessarily, maybe you don't want to be 100% public, you want to have a portion of that private, you can use livestream.com. Be careful. Live stream is a slippery slope of rapidly increasing expensive stuff. But if you're a corporation or work in a larger business, it may make sense to do it because you can tokenize and make everything completely private. You can charge people. You can do all sorts of stuff, right? So, your mileage may vary based on what you want to do. Yeah. I think obviously where we would land with live streams are the more, the better. Distribute. Go to all the platforms. You'll hear some people say you shouldn't do that. Typically, they're creators that have exclusivity. So for example, if you're a YouTube partner and you're monetizing, it's against the terms of service to multi-stream for your partnership, right? Yeah. But this will not affect the vast majority of businesses. So
no, absolutely.
Okay. Yes. So we've had experience with all of this. Number one, keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle.
Yes. Yep. Keep it simple. We don't even have, we said again, we don't have a script, we create these slides and things, but beforehand, when we first got started, it was purely conversation based as well. Right. Which, if you're just starting off, keeping it simple, that's great. Right.
Yeah. And the main intention, by the way, of what Live at the Hive was. So I've always had this philosophy, well, especially with digital marketing, that if you said you have 20 years in digital marketing, I would say, who cares? You have wisdom, you have experience, but what we're talking about, if you're a TikTok expert, really? The platform's not been around for that long unless you were karaokeing on Musical.ly, right?
Yeah. Musically. Oh my god.
But it's all about.
I had a few of those back in the day.
Did you have a Musically account?
I know my daughter did. And
I'm sure. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
made
Yeah.
a few guest
Mhm.
appearances.
Okay.
I see.
Yes. So keep your setup simple. The more complexity that you introduce into it, you could turn into a Wile E. Coyote invention. If you're familiar with Looney Tunes, just try to be as basic as possible. Go pick up a nice Logitech C970 or C720. They're cheap. They're high quality. They look good. Matt's just got a natural lighting source sitting in front of a window right now.
Yep.
It's actually better quality. That's the best quality of lighting you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Have backups available. So don't just ride on that one thing.
Yes, have backups.
Right.
It's important.
Bandwidth availability. To be quite honest, you can LTE stream and 5G stream now. If that's the case, like have that fallback available and be willing to do it. Obviously, promote your live stream. And yeah, test, like do dry runs. Don't just hop on their first time. Do a bunch of dry runs. You can delete the streams later.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
This is a good one.
Look at the camera, not the monitor. Okay, I have a hard time with this one, and I have for a very long time. I like looking at the people at the screens and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think when we were at the Live at the Hive studio, it was a little bit more looking into the camera and things, right?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, and don't be afraid to respond to comments live. Solicit questions. Ask people to come out of the woodwork. Say, please, if you're lurking. Pre-show prep time. We log on 15 minutes or so before, but we've been doing this quite a while. So, but you want to make sure that when we do webinars, for example, and this is a good thing to do, especially if you have guests. We usually actually have 1 hour or an hour and a half before the actual webinar. So people get comfortable in the setting, they get comfortable in the studio, they can take a little break. And then when they come back, it's not like you just walked in and your camera's on, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Add an extra host or guest. Always.
We got that. Yeah.
Okay. And have someone monitoring your stream so they can tell you if something is going wrong, like your audio isn't working and you have no clue because you can hear yourself.
I have one that's not on this list that I learned when I went to school. Back in the day.
Be kind, rewind, always rewind.
No. I forgot about that. But anyway, no, it's just one of the best tips I ever got when it came to either public speaking or doing any kind of broadcasting or doing a live video was to not get caught up on how many people are viewing the content. A lot of people tend to freeze up, and you have to remember that you have knowledge. That's why you're talking about whatever topic. And the people that you're talking to, you have to remember to talk to them like they're your friend. It's conversational. A lot of people just get really frozen, and it's normal during a live stream to lose your train of thought. I do all the time.
Oh,
it's fine. But at the same time, if you can bring that kind of air of conversation to the live stream, you're actually probably going to get more audience engagement because they'll feel like they're being listened to, even though you're doing most of the talking, or you'll feel more relatable.
Yeah. Here's another tip for many years of public speaking coming from I was highly introverted at one point in my life. Highly introverted.
What?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I am actually an introvert. I can go days without talking to someone. That never happens. But anyway. Pardon me.
Me too. COVID came at the right time, I guess.
When you're speaking, if you're public speaking in a big audience, one of the challenges with public speaking to large audiences in an auditorium is when you initially go out there, you're blinded. And slowly your eyes adjust to the lights and you'll start to see this massive audience, right? So that can throw people off. So one of the tricks for public speaking is to look at one person in the audience at one time and speak directly to them and keep shifting who that person is going to be throughout. Now, when you're live streaming, it's a little bit different, but forget the fact that there's an audience there. You're talking to two other people here. And if you're talking to your audience, you're actually talking to one person. You're not speaking you are speaking to 1,000 people potentially, right? Or thousands of people, but you're speaking to them one at a time.
Yeah.
They're usually not having a viewing party with 20 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to speak to an audience when you're speaking on a live stream. Talk to one individual.
Yeah.
And make it personalized. Okay. Yeah. So we've got some other tips here. Share live videos to Facebook groups. Use on-screen text and captioning. Title text absolutely matters.
Yep.
Live stream, we've talked about that, so we can just kind of keep going here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so on the promotion side, be consistent. Go at the same time. That's one thing. The inconsistency can be a killer for live streams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I saw a bunch of TikToks about this too, is people joking about podcasting and like how easy it is. Like you can just start up a podcast, right? It's not easy. It's like blogging when people say, yeah, I'm going to write a bunch of, like, I'm going to write, one time I had a challenge for myself to write 1 blog post a day for a year. That was hard. That was hard. I didn't actually end up doing it. I came close, but I didn't actually end up doing it.
Tough for sure.
It's not easy to do. So, but consistency is more important than force of will, if that makes sense. Like, don't go live every day if you're not going to consistently go live every day, right?
Yeah.
So one tip is to give yourself a reasonable schedule that you know you can stick to and be very consistent with that schedule, commit to it and do it over the long term, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see this all the time, and it's a little infuriating. I get triggered on this. We did a webinar. You did one webinar. You should be doing 30 webinars. We'll do one every 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you build audiences. So same thing, exactly the same thing with live stream. Schedule, stay consistent, make sure everybody knows when, where, and how they can join.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Stacey, this is a little bit in your wheelhouse here. I know that you guys have Pippa's creepy screenshot, but okay.
We like to have a lot of fun when we're promoting the show.
Yeah.
So the idea is to post on all your social channels, but understand where you're posting. So if it's on Facebook, you might do a clip from a previous show to promote the one coming up. If it's Instagram, do a reel. They're hot right now, and people are engaging with them more and more. Make sure you're on TikTok. And whatever you're doing, just make sure that that's relatable, right? Like this video that we had with Pippa, she's new on our team, and she's from the UK originally. So she did kind of like the saucy British thing, to kind of introduce the show and the topic we were going to talk about. And it's just kind of, we've gotten so many compliments on that video because it's relatable. It was fun, and it made people remember that the event was coming up. So it has to be somewhat memorable. So you have to like spark an emotion, whether that's humor, like, oh, I'm going to learn this little nugget. I've been really trying to find out about whatever the topic is. You have to have that like worm on the hook, so to speak.
Yeah. Unbutton the top button of your tied up shirt and loosen that tie a bit, and like just relax, right?
Exactly.
Some of the best, and this is ironic because I'm gonna go to TikTok, because the reason I'm going to TikTok is not because I'm obsessed with it. I'm not. It's that TikTok has broken down some of the norms that very traditional businesses and business people are doing. One of them is legal TikTok, law talk, right? There are lawyers on there that are giving analysis, and they're lip syncing. They're doing the captioning with legal advice, right? They're doing all of these things in what is considered a traditional industry. So you've got to kind of relax a bit, whether you're in insurance or law, or like you can finance and accounting, like all of these are on TikTok.
If
and
you're
like
gonna cut through the noise, you have to stand out, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And like, for example, if people can take mathematics, right? There's some really good ones. People teaching math in ingenious, brilliant ways that kids can understand. And you see some of these comments where kids will say, "You just taught me more in 30 seconds than I learned in 6 months of math at school." Like I get it. I get it. So if you're an accountant and you're trying to explain a tax code item, TikTok is a perfect way for you to be, as long as you know what you're talking about, to be clear in a very short period of time, right? So yeah, that's a great way to promote your live stream and to use those, the additional power of social to help magnify and amplify what it is that you're working on.
For sure.
Okay?
Don't be afraid to take inspiration from other people's posts and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, we all stand on the shoulder of giants. I mean, I can't imagine in the history of humanity that there is any new ideas. Well, there's some. Yeah. I mean, you know, the theory of relativity was new, I guess. Anyhow, a couple of optimization points specifically on YouTube. Do not dismiss YouTube. YouTube is, everybody, you know, it's crazy to me, but you know, people are like, YouTube's dying. It's like, that's
YouTube is not dying.
It's not dying.
I have a premium account on YouTube. It's not dying. Trust me.
Yep. I've got YouTube. Well, what is it now? YouTube Premium.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
It's not YouTube Red.
Once you get it, you'll never go back.
That's right. That's right.
My husband's hooked. That's for sure.
Oh, YouTube's fantastic. I mean, YouTube is awesome. The real disruptor there is television, which is, I don't know if it's dead or dying. It's one of the two. But on YouTube, just a couple of optimization tips. And this actually works for any video that you've got on YouTube. Your video details, your video title, and timestamps. The key to timestamps here is that the first one begins with 00:00. Has to. You need 2 digits for the minutes until you get to double-digit minutes. And what it will do is it will chapterize your actual video magically. Okay. So when you have a 45-minute or 50-minute live stream or video, you don't expect anybody to sit around. I mean, unless you're Joe Rogan and you've got fans like that, right? You will have some. But the idea here is that you chapterize things so people can scan, grab, and get what they want and what they need. The other benefit is when we do this, when we're chaptering and say repurposing the content, the production team doesn't need to go through and scan. It's already done here. So it can just be clipped that way. The last point here, tags.
Yes.
Tags.
Yep, for sure.
Use tags on YouTube. It makes a huge, massive difference. And keep optimizing those videos. And be kind with yourself. I mean, if you get, if you get over 6 viewers on any live stream, you are in the top 4% of all live streamers. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. It's
just
a
huge number. Yeah.
And the optimization. One thing for tags that I will say is really helpful for when you're tagging your content is to inspect a page of a video that's performing really well in the topic that you want. And in that inspect console in your browser, you'll actually see all the tags that the video author put into their video. So usually what you can do is you can copy and paste those tags into your own video and put a few more in there. And I found that to work quite well, actually. So just
for sure.
A little YouTube growth hack for you.
Yeah. April's saying YouTube isn't dying. I have a premium account. I watch more YouTube. Me too. We don't have cable anymore.
We know how much Baby Yoda you watch, April.
Yeah, exactly. One other tip here on content repurposing, since we've gone quite a bit over, but everyone's sticking around. Yeah, it's not sunny and hot out today, so
it's not. I don't think so.
Craft your content to be snackable. Like sometimes when I'm talking during the live stream, I will intentionally, like that YouTube thing right there, like I intentionally, when we were talking about this on this slide right here, I was intentionally creating a snackable moment. Note to self, team, that particular one would be good because I think it fit in within about a minute. And so as you're creating your content and you see an opportunity, like this is a nugget with 3 pieces of very good information for YouTube, right? We're going to clip that. We're going to turn it into a YouTube short, wink, wink. We're actually going to post a real YouTube short on the Honeypot YouTube channel because that tip applies to YouTube. So I don't think we would really want to necessarily you could put it on TikTok, but it's better to put it on the channel that it applies to, right?
Yep.
So try to set yourself up for those snackable moments. One other tip that we do with webinars actually and video is we set up the snackable moments. We do this with webinars where we'll do the webinar. And then when the webinar is over, we'll actually have the guest, we'll give them like 10 snackable, like here's these are really punchy. We want you to see, because you're all warmed up, right? You just finished the webinar, so you're good. Give us those snackable moments so we can repurpose it for promotional, right? So that's another good way to do it. In conclusion, live streaming is awesome. Just do it.
Do it.
If you're not doing it already, go ahead and do it now.
Yes.
Just get started. Be consistent. Doesn't have to be anything over fabulous or anything in the very beginning days. But
well, I think the key is don't. What? I don't know exactly what this means.
Oh, because I exposed her Baby Yoda addiction.
Yeah. There's I saw it on our, what was it? Is it an Instagram reel?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if we ripped it from some, insane collector. And I thought maybe it was Chad, and then April fessed up that it's hers. But hey, everybody needs more Funko Pop heads.
I've got a Kakashi.
Wow.
Yeah. This is my Mother's Day gift.
Wow. There you go. There you go.
I
have a few.
Awesome.
The shouting gun.
Yeah. So a couple of tips about live streaming is don't overthink it. If you're a one-person show, crack open the phone at the beginning of every day, go live, or go live once a week, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But just don't overthink it. Don't try to overproduce it. You're going to have better results if you just get out there and start doing it, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully some of these tips helped.
Yeah,
I think they did. I think we covered quite a bit. We gave as much as we could within the time. But again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Send us an email.
I was trying to think of a creator that I was going to copy for the outro, but the ones that popped into my head were probably too controversial. I like controversial YouTubers because they're trolls.
I listen to too many CBC podcasts, so it's just like the casual. Thanks for listening.
I can align your chakras.
What is it? The world
front burner.
As it happens.
He missed it.
Yeah.
I said I could align your chakras.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
What color is my aura right now, Stacy?
It's orange.
Is that
Where's
angry?
the crystals, Stacy? Do you have the crystals? Do you have a crystal?
I have a Buddha.
Pretty close.
Yeah. The crystals are in the other room. I had to move all my
There's
stuff.
like a whole TikTok for crystals.
Oh, I know. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Isn't that what is it? Spencer Pratt and From the Hills?
Oh God.
Are they big on them too?
Oh yeah, man. They sell crystals like crazy. They have a whole
holy jeez.
Yep. Anyways, that's okay. 2000 called. They want their MTV reality show back.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the first time I've heard of Heidi Montag in a long time.
Man, they're all over the place. Well, we did didn't we do stuff with Heidi Montag with a client? Yes, we did, didn't we? No, that was what's her name? Stephanie Pratt.
Yes.
That's Heidi's sister, or Spencer's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made famous by the Hills. Anyways, oh geez,
wow.
Here we go. Okay, we're going off the rails here.
Witch talk is huge. Yeah, witch talk, clean talk. I know Pippa. I think Pippa said something about clean talk right now. There's all these kinds of talks.
Yeah,
it's a talk for everyone.
There is a TikTok for everybody. Check out Math Talk. Honestly, like one of the things I've actually used TikTok videos to help my 12-year-old with his math.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go. Yeah. You know, I joke with people and say you have the entire knowledge of humanity in the palm of your hand, and you really do. Like,
it's not a joke. It's true.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, I know. That's why whenever anybody asks me a basic question, I just
no. Why are you bothering me? Go on your phone.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah. So one of my favorite replies is there's a great site called Let Me Google That For You that you type in the search, it makes you a movie, and then you send the link to them, and it actually shows the little thing clicking and typing it out. Anyhow, we are off the rails for Friday afternoon. It is 5:17. We've gone way over. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. I think Courtney's drinking wine right now. I get the feeling that she's sitting there. Yeah.
I'll be joining you soon.
All right. And just a little on a sad note, maybe we'll invite him back once in a while. I don't know. Stacy, should we?
Yeah.
Producer Matt is moving along to the farm services industry of some sort. I'm not sure. I don't mean to. Oh, Barb. Thank you. Thanks as always.
Barb.
Appreciate you all. Well, we appreciate you. Matt is moving on to brighter, bigger Probably not better. I'm just saying that because I'm biased.
You're biased.
Biased too.
Yes. Yeah, producer Matt's moving on with school and stuff and with work, but you know me, I love the Hive, I love the bees and stuff. I'm sure you'll be seeing me on live at the Hive for the next few episodes, and then I'll come on as a guest. But
yeah, absolutely. We pride ourselves on having helped start several dozens of people off on marketing careers. So
for sure.
More power to you. It is not 1955 anymore. Nobody gets a 50-year gold watch except for Stacy.
I'm out.
Yeah. What? No way.
Stacy's a lifer.
I'm a lifer. Dan's already planning my retirement party.
You guys are gonna last. Hey, I'm pushing 50. How much longer do you think I got? Working, not living.
Modern science, modern technology. You got another good 30
I just want to become a figurehead and do live videos.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Go to sleep.
Got to do that chirotherapy where it's like they put you in the ice, like dry ice chambers for like a good 30 minutes.
Oh, you can at a certain point. I'm fine with my consciousness being uploaded into the cloud.
Yeah, I watched that episode too. Me too.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
Totally cool
Nobody
with
wants this consciousness.
that. Look, I'm not going to get into my theory that we are in fact living in a simulation. That would be
no.
That's another lie. That's another lie.
It is not a lie, man. It's real. This is like what? How would you even know?
No, I said that's another live. We'll do like
another whole live on that.
Yeah, that's another whole live.
Yes.
That we are in fact living in a simulation.
Content team, get to work.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Alrighty.
That's where we go. Okay, so yes, Matt will be with us for a few more weeks, but we will be shipping him off and watching him sail into the sunset, and we will have him on again. He better show up at 4:20 every Friday.
For sure, I will.
Because you can pass that stuff off as work if you're in marketing. That's the other key.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks a lot for joining us for Live at the Hive Digital Marketing from the Trenches. We will see you next week. Same B time, same B channel.
See you guys then.
Bye, everyone.